What's your favorite thing about One Piece?
Favorite thing about One Piece?
Yes.
Probably Chopper.
Oh shit! I respect the fuck out of that.
You know?
I will fuck you up.
Because that's like me. I'm like that.
Damn! Hold on. Damn. Okay, Chopper. Okay.
Yo, what is up? It's been a minute, so I just want to come back and talk about thoughts. There's a lot of things I guess have been happening. First, we had a successful yacht party. We did a One Piece yacht party at this point almost 2 weeks ago, and it was great. Like, I'm really happy it worked out. Like, we packed out the boat. We had great guests of all different types. People flew in too. Music was great, food was great. We had a photo booth. Scavenger hunt was great. Fashion show was great. Every aspect was really good, and I'm really grateful that like it worked out. Yeah, I mean honestly, I was nervous, but I'm glad that like it worked out. Honestly, like it's always nerve wracking to do an event, but I'm glad that these events keep working out. It's something that I'm really grateful for because if they failed, especially like now, like they're in this nascent growing stage, like then probably wouldn't happen again. And because it worked out and because people show up, then we're gonna do more. I got some pretty cool ideas for things to come. I want to do a gold saucer party. We'll see for Final Fantasy 7. That'd be really cool. That's something I've thought about for a minute actually. If like all these ideas I thought about for a minute. Um and I really want to do them. I just want to have some fun with this life, while we got the time, especially like while nerd culture is hot. It might not last forever, although I really hope it does. Speaking of nerd culture being hot, One Piece live action is a great success. Like you don't have to even just take my word for it. Take the word of multiple millions of people around the world who really enjoy this. People who have never seen One Piece before, they are now getting interested in the culture. People who have watched One Piece, like myself, I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. It wasn't perfect, but at the same time, I really enjoyed it. I'd be down to watch it again. Um, it was beautiful. Like it was a good love letter to the franchise. And even if it was bad, it doesn't take away from the franchise, but I think this adds to the franchise. And when I say the franchise, I think about like not just the anime, the manga, really, like it's so many different aspects. I mean, even this blanket's part of the franchise and it's a cool blanket. Nami, my cat Nami somewhere, she's part of the franchise too. The franchise is like the ice skating show and the One Piece tower and the anime and the manga and the coloring books and the extra books and the cookbook. Is everything that adds to this. Is this world of One Piece. It's a veritable world for sure. And I'm happy that this is a great addition to this world. Um, I told y'all, I told y'all. It's like people keep looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, have I not convinced you that this would be good? That One Piece would be good. It's like I talk about like so many other pieces of media, maybe not on this podcast, but everywhere else I talk about it. I talk about movies and TV shows and books and I don't know. I talk about like multiple facets of culture that like I'm hoping that I don't sound crazy when I'm like this is the best one. It's my favorite one. I've talked to a lot of people that like are against One Piece, and I'm just at this point I'm tired. I don't need to convince anybody else anymore that it's good. I love it. It has changed my life for the better. I think about so many aspects from One Piece. I've never had a show that made me want to cry. Not really. I've never had a show that made me laugh and feel sort of like a kid. I like this show makes me feel like I'm able to be a child and chase my childhood dreams. Like it's I can understand the resistance to it. I was very resistant myself, but it's a wonderful, beautiful show. I've never had a show that has done this for me, honestly. And I'm hoping it does the same thing for other people. Like it has been inspirational to me. Like it really made me think about like my place in the world. And I don't know. It's like like I like if it doesn't do that for you, I'm sorry. I can only say what my experience is, and I hope that it does that for other people, and it has done that for millions of people around the world. That's the reason why this franchise is the biggest franchise. The biggest franchise is beating comic books, is beating superhero stuff, it's beating Star Wars and everything. And I'm happy that the rest of America is jumping on board finally. I don't blame you that it is a lot of episodes, but I say it's worth it. You know, I remember pointing back to Makenryu, the Zoro live action character actor, like he said, like it's sort of like the Bible, and people were like, "Oh my god, what are you talking about?" And I'm like, honestly, yes. What I mean by that is like, if you're spiritual, I think you should give it to yourself to read the Bible. You don't have to stop there, but I'm saying like it is an important book. It is an important piece of culture at this point, and if you're just trying to understand people, you know I think this is important, for just at least understanding the culture, the history, how it's impacted multiple millennia of people, around the world. Now, same thing for One Piece. If you I'd say if you're trying to get into this anime world professionally, it's important. It's very important. It's like it's an everlasting franchise that's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If you know One Piece, you get hired onto stuff more. And if you're at least not like spoiling things, like it's sort of crazy that like some of the big people, they have to spoil things. As soon as it comes out in Japan, they put it out here. That's a big no-no. Don't do that. But if you if you actually know and love One Piece, you can go far. Don't call Luffy Luffy. Actually know the characters. If you can get hype with the people will get hype with you. And then personally, it has been the most important one of the most important franchises. I wouldn't say is the most. So many different things that I've added, but it has a sizable chunk in the pie chart of like my influences in my life. And it's only getting better. That's the crazy thing. Like everything that like has came earlier is coming back now. And it's becoming like just this huge ball of amazing density of just amazing, like it's like wow, at first it just seems like whatever, but then you keep going into it and then it adds on itself. It's amazing. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, go watch One Piece. It's amazing. Little bit by little bit, do an arc, take a break. Don't binge it unless you want to binge it. Read it if the pacing's not good. I'm not gonna blame you. The anime pacing has some issues. It's a bummer. There's multiple times when I had watched it and I'm just like, yo, we're still doing this? But where it is right now, I just finished literally the episode 1076. 1076 episodes. And it was beautiful. I wanted to cry quite a few times because it's the end of an arc that has lasted 180 episodes and a super arc that has lasted almost 500 plus episodes. And it's been beautiful. It wrapped up so beautifully. It's beautiful. Like it's a wonderful franchise. Now, the biggest things I've heard against it is that it's not adult enough. I don't know. You just gotta let it go, y'all. Like I get it. I will say I do wish that more people died in One Piece. But luckily enough people, like the stakes are high. Oda has done a great job in like making sure that you feel that there are stakes. And honestly has given like quite a ride. Is like I think like a lot of people are wanting like hardcore berserk guts, Gantz, just like stop, chill out. Not everything has to be super Game of Thrones esque, of just being Breaking Bad, huge amounts of violence and cursing and all that, right? Not everything is like that. But this show like is special to me. Like it has tackled a lot more bigger issues too that you just wouldn't have expected. Racism, government experiments, government. Honestly, like police brutality. It's pretty dope. Honestly, there's so many things about One Piece that it's just like wow, it's dope. It's like if you can get past the surface level stuff, It's a great time. I've had nothing but great times. Like I've only seen the show once through, and it has imprinted itself really on me heavily. I hope that like I can convince you that is like this is so good. That I had to come on here, make a whole video about watching One Piece. And honestly, I'm not gonna stop talking about One Piece. I got quite a few One Piece guests on the way. Um, I hope I don't jinx myself though. It's always trying to schedule these things, and then there's so many episodes that like I have tried to schedule with really cool people that just didn't happen. And then somehow, unfortunately, the relationship with a person sort of goes down, or not always, but it has happened quite a bit, like where people feel embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. Hey, come back. I want to just talk to you. But overall, all I'm trying to get at is One Piece is dope. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Uh, um, and then I guess also for people who, I mean, well, you probably have to care about anime if you made this far in this episode. But like every now and then, like I meet people outside of like the anime sphere, and it's like, whoa, oh yeah, not everyone likes anime. Honestly, I do that all the time. But but I think there's a lot of people who are like, why anime? Why? And I think anime is another amazing media, medium. It's sort of it's a huge bummer when people are like, animation is for kids. I'm just like, you are limiting yourself. People are limiting themselves all the time. I don't understand. It's like this world is anything you made it. All these rules you guys came up with, where they come from? You guys are saying this like my great great grandfather said this. Who? Animation has been around for 100 years, 1930s, right? And then it has spanned so much, and even the kid stuff is amazing. You're gonna tell me Lion King is you just fall asleep to Lion King is forget? It's like what are you talking about? I'm like you are limiting yourself from enjoying good content, and I feel like that should be the goal. Enjoying good stuff that touches you and inspires you, to become better, like, or at least to see the joy in life, and that's what animation, cartoons and anime have done for me for sure, as well as movies, as well as books, as well as video games, as well. And just like, I don't understand like how people, like are so against it. It's fair if it's not your thing. I just think it's weird that people can be against it. Um, I can understand like if that's all you do, and like in both people are seeing that, all right, people are worried, but I don't know. Go outside as you watch anime too. There's a lot of healthy people and a lot of people who have been inspired to become better people because of anime, and for sure that is me. I don't, like I think it's a little bit of a bummer, but at the same time, new generations are coming where it's normalized, and I feel like it should just be a normalized thing. I don't think that if it's not for you, it's not for you. Also, there's multiple types. Unless you really just don't like TV watching at all, like or watching a screen, well, you wouldn't be here. Maybe you just watch podcasts. I don't know. But then again, you wouldn't. I don't know. I'm just like, would people be listening to me if if they didn't care about anime? If you don't care about anime and you were watching this, bless you. I need to meet you. I just love to hear what you think. Uh, and if it's not your thing and somehow you just like hearing me talk about it, great. I'm gonna do that. I'm not always trying to convince people. Hey, if not your thing, it's not your thing. But don't talk badly about it. That's my thing. It has been so inspirational to me in being an adult person today, funny enough, that it's just sort of like why rag on it. Same thing with One Piece, like where it's like there's so many people like online who love to rag on it, mostly out of defense for like not wanting to watch it or like not feeling the commitment to watch it. Just don't rag on it. I'm not gonna say you have to watch it. I'm saying I'm imploring you to watch it, just like I would implore you to read the Bible. But I know that turns a lot of people off. A lot of people don't like to read. A lot of people don't like spirituality. A lot of people, and then the same thing with One Piece. A lot of people don't like to read or want to go through the length of it. A lot of people think it looks ugly. A lot of people like are honestly sort of trapped on the sort of surface level parts, in my opinion. But if it really stops you, it is what it is. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong for not enjoying it or liking it or giving it a chance. I think you should. But I will say you are wrong if you try to rag on it. You try to make fun of it. You try to belittle it. Um, if it's not your thing, truly, like you did give it a shot and it just wasn't your thing, that's fair. Hey, we see different things. Hopefully there's something you like, something that like inspires you. That's what all it is. And I'm really happy that One Piece has inspired so many people all around the world. I don't feel alone with this. Also, I think I wanted to touch on some other aspects too. So changing course. All right, not really, sort of like so I'm Nigerian. I did my ancestry test, 23andMe, and it said I am 100% African, 98.5% Nigerian. But I never really felt super connected to Nigerian culture or black culture. Like enough that like it's like, yes, I am proud of it. I am happy that like I am who I am and I have this heritage. I love my black skin. It's a bummer that there is like there are so many problems for black people these days still around the world, especially like in Africa. And it bums me out. It makes me really sad. I'm really grateful that like honestly I'm here in America. Um because I see like the suffering that a lot of people are going through actively in Africa, in Nigeria, in my family. And I'm grateful that like I have what I have. But I do want to say like I never really felt connected with my culture as much, and it always bummed me out. It still bums me out. I'm trying. This past weekend I watched this movie called The Blackening. It's supposed to be a horror movie about black people, like in a cabin. I didn't really like it. Like it was like haha. But for me, it sort of missed the point that it was trying to provide, like where like it provided like a really diverse cast of black people. You have your gay black guy, you have your African black guy, you have your mixed black woman, you have um, your lawyer black woman, it's like it's pretty cool to see that. But they had a character that was like the sort of nerdy guy named Clifton. And they just ragged on him, they excommunicated him, ostracized him, and I was like, "Yo, I think you guys are missing the point. Like, why are you guys ostracizing him?" And then, sort of spoiler. Actually, it's a huge spoiler. Sorry, if you plan to see it, stop right now. But they they have to like sacrifice like one of their people like in the group, and they are all pointing at this guy. They are like, this guy. He should go. And then like they have to be like, oh, who's the most black? And he's trying not to prove he's black, like, or not the most black. He's like, I voted for Trump twice. And like, we got to get rid of you. And that bummed me out because it's just sort of like, dang, y'all. It's like, we're supposed to work on this together. Like we got, all we have is each other, you know? And for me, it just it sort of unfortunately reminded me of, my own childhood, I felt very ostracized by honestly both groups for not really fitting in, for not being black enough, for not being African enough. And video games and anime were my solace and gave me the community that like I really appreciated. So, it's like like don't get me wrong, like these days like I feel a lot better about my identity. Definitely I don't feel like I fit in that well still. When I went to Nigeria 6 years ago, they honestly tried to arrest me twice because you're an outsider. You don't belong here. You look like you sell drugs. I don't. And then being in America is like I'm very nerdy. Um, but I feel good. I am I really appreciate anime and video games. Honestly, truly anime. Like in so many other aspects for sure. A lot of great people have been in my life. But for sure, anime like gave me like this sort of like ability to find my own masculinity and my own identity and my own um who I think I am or who I want to be, my own inspirations. Um and like it gave it to me like in an alternative way, like where it's like cool, I can be who I am, and it's cool. It works out really well. Like it's not um I don't have to go to that traditional route because unfortunately that was never me. Like I couldn't make it on the basketball team. I had asthma growing up. Um wasn't very strong, and didn't get girls. And my brother, he's the the object of masculinity, the traditional masculinity. Me, no, he's my younger brother, and it sort of hurt. But at the same time, I really appreciate finding this alternative way to become who I am. And I feel strong and good. Anime has inspired me to go work out. Anime has inspired me to be more charismatic and to tell people what I'm thinking and to travel and explore the world and to try to do good, honestly. Um, to get strong so I can be able to do good. It's like anime has done a lot for me. So for me, it is too important to be a thing to be like, oh, you don't like anime, whatever. I mean, honestly, I will. I'm not gonna judge you if you don't like anime, but it is something that is like really important to me, and it is something I do wish that people closest to me, well, sort of my family. My family, I don't think they know what anime is still. um, you know, I would like more people to check out anime. If not the Dragon Ball Z stuff, there's something for you. There is something for you. The comedy is really good. The drama is really good. The action or the slice of life or the romantic stuff or whatever you're looking for, there's something for you there. And I at least I believe it. I don't know. Some people are really turned off by the animation things. I don't know. Even like if you're turned off by the animation things, there's serious anime that don't do I don't know. I don't even know what, the stereotype things, I guess. Things have changed so much also from the 90s and 80s when a lot of people are still thinking about this. Um the dubbing has been amazing. It bums me out that there is still a dub sub war. The dubs are amazing these days, but it's not the official stuff, bro. The subtitles aren't official either. It's like they didn't come from Japan. They came from Americans that are translating it. You know, and then the dubs have come leaps and bounds. We have actual actors that are killing it, and they've been doing it honestly for like more than 2 decades. If I'm being honest. It's a lot of dope stuff. There's a lot of dope stuff. Like I'm happy that like One Piece is blowing up. I hope people really do give it a chance. Because for me, it's like of anime, which I genuinely love, the whole medium. One Piece is number one, and not even anime alone. It's like of all the shows, and I'm not gonna say it's a perfect show. It has a lot of downfalls, and like, yo, I wish that One Piece would go on a different schedule so it can have more time for itself. Or I wish that I wish I could squeeze the water down, like there's a lot of water in this show, like it's not perfect, like where the pacing is like always on point, but it for me is like the most important show that I've ever watched, and I hope that people give it a chance. uh yeah, I think that's where I'm at, honestly. Go watch One Piece, y'all. It's so good. And then tell me your experience. I would love to hear it. Like I all about it. Like feel like I don't feel like actually I don't even know what I was trying to say there. I give it a chance. Give it a chance. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, And if not One Piece, if you're getting into other anime, let me know. I would love to hear what you think. Anime is amazing. It's so good. If you watch regular TV shows, you owe it to yourself to watch some anime. I'm saying. I'm saying I watch so many different shows. I'm trying to finish up Atlanta season 4 right now and Andor, and I really want to watch season 2 of The Nick. And there's another live action show. I mean, I want to start Severance, one of those HBO shows. I'm not sure. There's so many shows I need to watch, and I'm watching them. I need to watch some of the movies that one of my friends Lee told me to watch. It's a lot of things I gotta watch, but it's so good, so good, so good. It's not for kids. Get that out of your head. A lot of this stuff is really adult and like has helped me as an adult. Uh, uh, go watch One Piece. If not One Piece, go watch some anime. Tell me what you're watching. Love to hear it. Thank you. Peace.